Okay, so last tutorial what we are doing? We are doing basic concepts of Java, right? So we just started. Okay, so last class, I mean, let's do the recap what we have done. Okay, so in last class what we have done, I mean, we treat this. This is a octal. Okay, so who is the founder of Java? Gosling, GSN, Gosling, Sheridan, and Norton. Okay, and so what is Java language? Java is a general purpose language, then concurrent, then object oriented or class based language. Okay, and which is the first object oriented programming language? Simula. Simula is the first object. Then which is the truly small talk. Okay, when first version of Java came, 1995. Okay, then we have seen, I mean, why Java is so much successful. Platform independence, then automatic garbage collection. Okay, easy to use. It is very easy to use. And if I ask you what is the difference between C++ and Java, then C++ does not support multiple. Sorry, it supports multiple units. Java does not support. Then Java does not support operator overloading. Okay. Then pointer arithmetic we don't support in Java. Then platform independence. Okay, Java is platform independence is there. Automatic garbage collection, yes. Then array differentiation. Okay, so in Java everything is treated as an object, so array is an object, and then it will go to heap. Okay, so in Java always array will go to heap. Why? Because object always goes to heap. Yeah. I think we'll start from here only, no? Okay, so yeah, now what are OOPS concepts are there? Which all OOPS concepts we are having? Which all OOPS concepts are there? First is your class, then object, third one inheritance, okay, then encapsulation, okay, polymorphism, and abstraction. Okay, so we will try to understand all of those one by one. Then if you know these very well, then you know all the OOPS language also. It's not about only Java. If you are working with any other language, you will be able to understand basically. Okay, so let's start with class. Okay, so any idea what is class? What is class? Any idea? What is class? Collection of objects. So try to understand. I mean, whenever you will have a noun, okay, those will be your class. Okay, any noun which we can think of, all are classes. Something like what noun, you know? Something like animal. Animal is a noun. Okay, then vehicle. Vehicle is a noun. Okay, then if I tell you dog, is it a noun? Yes, it is noun. Okay, then anything, cat, is it a noun? Yes, it is a noun. So any noun which we can think of, it will become your class. Okay, and all the noun will have one very special property. Okay, so what is that called? Those will contain two things. One is called state, okay, and another is called behavior. So each and every noun will have two properties. What are those? States and behavior. Similarly, your class, what is a class? Class is nothing but it is a template which will contain two things. What it will contain? State and behavior. Okay, so if anybody will ask what is a class, class is nothing but template of states and behaviors. Okay, so what is a class? Class is nothing but it is a template which consists of two things, states and behaviors. Okay, yeah. Now let's try to think about any of the class. Let's think animal is a class. What is the class name? Animal. Animal will have two things, states. So what are the states animal has got? How many number of legs they have got, right? So how will you write? Int number of legs. Okay, similar to this, what is the name of this animal, which is the data type you will use? String name. This is the name of that animal. Okay, now suppose animal will have weight, right? Weight. So what is the data type I should use for weight? Any idea? Weight. Can I use integer? Yeah, sometimes we can use. Suppose see, suppose weight is 45, then it is an integer. Okay, but weight might be something like this now, 45.7. It might be like this, right? So what is the data type I should go for? Float. Float or double. Now why? Because we are having some decimal point, right? So whenever decimal points will come into picture, what is the data type? Float or double. Okay, so before going to this, let's try to understand this, because data type is very important. Which data type, when we should use, you should know. Okay, so tell me if my number is 23, 23, then 32, 43. So this sort of data I am getting. So what is the data type I should go for? Integer. Okay, so these are int. Okay, these are integer I can go. Okay, now suppose I am having some number. Okay, and maybe so can integer accommodate this? It cannot, because integer will have some sort of restrictions, right? Okay, so now what is the data type I should go for? No, double, long, because what is long is bigger than integer. Okay, so little bigger than integer. Okay, and suppose my my data is something like 2, okay, 3, 2, 3, 1, okay, 6, okay, 3, something like this. So you know the data will not become more than this. Got it, right? Then what is the smaller than integer? Tell me, what is the data type? Byte. Okay, so if you have a very small number, you know that your number will not exceed maybe 16 or something. Okay, it will be less than 16 only. Then which is the data type you should go for? Byte. It will be small. So because depending upon the data type, your compiler will allocate memory to all those variables, right? So byte is the smallest one, then integer, okay, then long, okay, then suppose I am having some data. I will give you some sort of data, 12.3, okay, then 34.3, okay, then 21, okay, 0.3. Then what is the data I should go for this data? Float. Okay, so float. Okay. Now if your number is something like this, then double. Why? Because float cannot accommodate so big number, right? So we should go for double. Okay, double will be bigger than float. Okay, yeah. Now if I am having some data, yes, something like 1, sorry, C D. E. Okay, so don't worry about this one for time being, otherwise you will get confused. Okay, so yeah, tell me what is the data type. It is the string will have double quote. Okay, so here we are having single quote. Single quote means character. Okay, so it would be your char. So whatever characters we have got, those will be in single quote, not in double quote. Okay, now if my data is something like this, okay, then what is the data type I should go for? Certainly string. Okay, so what is a string? A string is nothing but collection of some characters. Okay, so by looking into the data, you can judge that this can be falling under which data type. Okay, very simple. Yeah, now these all of those will have some sort of default value basically. Okay, so default value we will see later upon time, and we will do static. For time being, you just try to understand what data type you will use for which variable basically. Okay, so now I am looking for weight. So which is the best data type I should go for? Float or double. So double if it is very big, but I am not looking for very big number, right? I am looking for small number. So which one I can go? I can go for float. So I am expecting animal weight will not be very big, and it will be small only. Okay, yeah. Now as I told, all the class will have two things: states and behavior. So states are done. These are the states which animal will have. Okay. Now let's try to talk about behaviors. So what all behaviors animal will have? They can walk. Walking is one of the behavior, right? So I can write some method, something like public void walk. Okay. Something like animal will bark. So what is the method we will have? Bark. Okay, so all the states will be these are also called instance variables. What are those called? Those are called instance variables. And whatever we are writing here, public void walk, what are those called? These are called, tell me, methods. In C++ we call this as a function, but here we will not call it a function, we will call it a methods. So ultimately meaning is same. In your C you will talk about function, here we will call it a methods. We won't call function, we will call methods. Okay, so let's try to create one simple class in your Java. So how will you create? Did we start Eclipse? We did not start Eclipse. We have to start it. Okay, before starting, okay, so there are some naming conventions which you follow in Java. Okay, whenever we will have noun, those are called classes. All the nouns are classes, which we have seen a little bit earlier. Okay, because it will have two things: states and behavior. Now if we'll have adjective, okay, so adjective are interface. Okay, whenever you will have some sort of adjective, those will be called as an interface. Okay, and most of the time you will have one of the word called able. Whenever you will see this word called able at the end of your name, then suddenly you should think this should be your interface, except throwable, except throwable. So throwable is not an interface, it is a class. All other ables are interface. Okay, whenever you will have verb plus something, anything, it can be anything, verb plus noun typically. Okay, so those will be called as a method. So what are the examples of noun? Something like animal, which we looked into now a little bit earlier. Adjective, typical examples of your interface will be something like runnable, okay, callable. Whenever able is there, those would be your interface. Verb plus something, something like if I'll tell calculate. So calculate is a verb. Interest. Calculate interest. What is calculate interest? It is a verb plus something. So what it will be called? It is a method. Okay. So by name only you can judge whether what is that type. Okay. And whenever we will have full capital, all the letters are capital letter. Okay, so those would be called as a constant. So whenever you will have full letters are capital, we will treat those as a constant. Okay, class and interface. Okay, first letter capital. Okay, class and interface, first letter capital. Always. These are the Java naming convention. Okay, so whenever you will use Java class or library, function or methods, those all will follow this naming convention which we are looking into. And all others will follow one of those. Convention is called camel case notation. What is the notation it will follow? Camel case. TTSS, right? Yes. So now let's try to understand what does camel case notation means. Okay, so try to understand. I mean, here whenever we are writing C, I could have written in two ways. One, I'll write like this, camel case. What is another one? Capital C. Okay, so camel case notation is very simple. Have you ever seen camel? How they look like? Camel will have their back upright like this, then it will go down, right? So similarly here also we follow this camel case notation. Camel case notation means very simple, new word, first letter capital. Okay, so camel is separate word, case is separate word. Okay, and here C, this is capital Y, because case is a new word which is coming in the picture. So camel is separate word, case is new word, so that's why capital. You should not have this. You can write this, but what will happen? Java will tell you it is not a good way. So it's better always your new word first letter should be capital letter. So this is called camel case. So that's why if you see here, if you remember here, when I written this calculate interest, then I is capital. I could have written like this also, right? Okay, so that's why, I mean, anywhere, wherever you will go, you will find, I mean, new word first letter capital. So these are the naming convention which will follow. So let's try to have one very small quiz, okay, by which you will be able to, I mean, remember all the things which we have studied. Yeah. So what we talked about, noun will be class, adjective will be interface. Most of the time, able will be there. Verb plus something, method. Full letter capital, constant. Okay. Class and interface, first letter capital, and camel case notation will follow. So tell me, first one, dog. Noun means class. So dog is a class. Get balance. Get balance. Verb plus something. So it is a method. Okay. Calculate interest. Method. Verb plus something. Okay. Runnable. Interface. Okay. So runnable means, I mean, runnable means able will be there, right? So which is the only able which is not an interface? Throwable. All are interface. So runnable. Animal. Class. Okay. Serializable. Able interface. My weight. Method. My is a verb or not? My is not a verb. Okay. And can it be noun, or maybe interface or class? Can it be? It can be, but what will happen here? M should be capital, but M is small, so it cannot be class. It cannot be interface, because interface and class will have first letter capital. So now what is the thing only remaining? Variable, normal variable name. Instance variable we are creating here, right? Something like here we are creating this weight, right? This one. Okay. So I can tell this is a my weight. Okay. So it can be your instance variable basically. Okay. What is the last one? Next thing, constant, because all the letters are capital. So by name only you can judge. I mean, so whether it is a class or whatever things, it will have all these things. So this is the one which you have created. So this is your theoretical part. Let's try to replicate it in practical implementation. So how we will replicate? We will, very simple. Let's go to our Eclipse and just close it. And just close it. Okay, I will create one project, Java project. Okay, and I'll create something like basic concepts. Next, then finish. Yeah, it is best practice. We should have package. So we'll create package something like com.test is the package name. I must have the entry point. So main class. I want to have a static void main also, so I'll click over there. So this is your entry point. If you want to print something, what is the one? SYSO, system.out.println. If you want to print something like hello, how to run? Control F11. So it should print us hello in our console. Hello. Okay. Yeah. Now I want to replicate this theoretical part into practical implementation. So we will create one animal. So Alt Shift N, class animal. See, observe very closely. If I will make it A, see some warning is coming. Why? Because class name will always have first letter capital. So see here, type name is discouraged, By convention, Java type names usually start with an uppercase letter. Okay, so you can do that, but it is not best practice. Okay, so if you are doing this, then people will come to know you don't know Java actually. Okay, so it is best practice. If I'll make it A, it will be fine for us. Now we'll finish. Yeah, now each class will have two things, states and behavior. So let's try to have some states in number of legs, string, name, and what is the last one? Float, weight. So these are called instance variable. Now we want to create some methods also. So what are those behaviors? Walk was one of the behavior. Okay, so it is best practice. It is best practice. It should be your it should be public. Okay, then bark. Okay, so what to do? You should make it to, you will see, I mean, what is private public means. For timing, you are just understanding it. Okay, so that's what, I mean, this is your theoretical, which we talked about. Animal will have all those things. This is your practical. Okay, so let's go back to our slide where we were studying. Okay, so we understood this, I mean, class. So what is a class? Class is nothing but template which will describe two things, states and behavior of its object. Okay, yeah, now let's try to understand this object. In doubt in class? Normal. Okay, so try to understand. If we'll have one dog, okay, but you took one dog at your home. I mean, you bought one dog from somewhere and you put it at your home. So will you call that dog as a dog? No, you will give some name to that, something like Moti, Hira, whatever name you will give. Okay, so similarly here also what will happen? Suppose I got one dog and I have given the name called Moti. Got it, right? So dog means it is collective noun. Dog means all are dog, and all the dogs are dog. Okay, but you have created one instance, means you bought one instance, right? So that instance is called your object. Got it, right? So something like if you give some name called Moti to that dog, then that Moti will be your object. Are you able to understand what I am talking about? So dog is your class. Why? Because all are dogs. I mean, all the dogs are dogs. So typically your class will be a collective noun. Okay, and whenever you create one part of it, I mean, you will create one instance of it. Those will be called your object. Okay. So what is object? Object is nothing but instance of a class. So object is a instance of a class. Okay, and class is of no use until unless you will not create object. Okay, because otherwise it will be all are dog, all are animals. I mean, you cannot differentiate among any of the variables, right? So always it is best practice to create object. So what is an object? This is also called real world entity. Real world entity. Okay, and how to create object in Java? We use one of the word called, there are 5 ways to create object in Java. Okay, but for most of the time we'll use like this. Okay, suppose I have got animals. So animal, first we'll write the class name, then object name. Okay, something like I'll write animal, or maybe suppose in this case Moti equal to new animal, and we'll have this smaller bracket and we'll finish the line. Okay, so class object equal to new class then we will finish the line. So this is the way how to create object. Now there are other 4 ways. You try to Google it. We can discuss in the next class. So different ways to create object in Java. Okay. So just take it as an assignment. We can discuss in the next tutorial. So here this is your animal. I want to create the object. So where I'll go here, and we want to create object. So animal. I can give some any name, object equal to new animal. Okay, yeah. Now if I'll go to animal, there are many things, right? Number of legs, names, weight, walk, bark. You want to use all those. How will you use it? How to invoke those? We use dot operator. What is the operator called? Dot operator. Okay. So here we will understand one of the operator called dot operator. Okay, dot operator. Okay. So when we use this dot operator to invoke the variables or methods of a class. So always how you do, you first create the object. Steps will be first create object using new operator which we discussed. Okay, and second one what to do, we write the object name here. We will write the object, then we use this dot. We'll use this dot, and here we will write those variable names or method name, whatever we have, the variable name or here we write the method. Typically we write like this dot here. So in this case I want to create object. So very simple. I have already created object. Now I want to use the variables or methods. So I do dot. As soon as I will do dot, see all the things are coming. Suppose animal number of legs will be 4. Like this we assign those variables. Okay. Suppose if you want your animal to bark, okay, so how will you do? Animal object dot bark. So simple. So first create object, then dot, then you use whatever variables or methods are there inside. So this is the way how we do. So what is a class object? Object is an instance of a class which is done using which one? New keyword. Okay. So whenever new keyword you encounter, JVM will use appropriate class to make an object. So automatically object will be created as soon as you use new operator. Okay. What is instance variable? We have seen little bit earlier. Each object will have its own unique variables. These are called state. So if you see here, I mean in your class, there are 3 things. These are states. States means instance variables. Okay, so states are nothing but those are called instance variables. States are instance variables. Okay, so that's what we have discussed. So each object will have its own unique variables. These are also called state. And after that, method. What are method? Methods are nothing but behaviors. And where we write the logic in Java? Where to write logic in Java? Where to write logic in Java? Where we write logic? It's not about Java, anywhere. Okay, all the languages. Where we write logic, we always write logic inside method. Okay, so inside method. We write logic inside method. Okay, so methods are where class logic is stored. We call it behavior in general term. Okay. Now there are two words. Okay, one is called keywords. These are we are discussing all those. I mean C plus only, which we have studied. Okay. Then we will study. I mean because almost similar. So what are those keywords? What are keywords? What are keywords? Any idea? Keyword means reserved words. Okay, they are also called reserved words. Reserved spelling wrong. Reserved words. Okay, so what are reserved words are there? Something like see int. When will use int? To have the integer variable. So can you use this int to give one variable name? No. I mean if I do int, will it work? It will not work. Okay. So int is a keyword. Similarly float keyword. Then in Java we use extends, which is a keyword. Implements, it is a keyword. For loop, for is a keyword. Okay, while is a keyword, if is a keyword, else is a keyword. So there are some built-in keywords are there which are coming from C only. Okay, so those are called keywords. So keywords are nothing but reserved words, or we can say this is a built-in words. Built-in words. Built-in means those are already built. You need not to build those. Built-in. So we understood keywords now. Let's try to understand identifier. Okay. So what are identifiers? Identifiers are nothing but the names given to variable, class, interface are called identifiers. Okay. So in this case, what is the name we have given? Something like animal. So animal is one of the name I am giving, right, to all the animals. What is it? This is called identifier. Okay. So what is an identifier? Identifiers are nothing but names given to variables, classes, or classes, methods, interfaces. Okay. So all those are called identifiers. So what are identifiers? We have seen till now in our example, something like number of legs. This is also an identifier, right? Because you are giving some name to those. Okay. Then we have seen, bark. Bark is also an identifier. Identifier to a method, basically. Then we have used name. Name is also an identifier. So till now, whatever examples we have seen, these are identifiers. Okay. Now one very simple rule which we follow here is identifiers can never be keywords. I think I told the reverse way. Keywords can never be an identifier. Okay, so keywords cannot be as an identifier. You cannot make those identifier. Okay, so something like if I try to write something like as I told int, okay, and then if I'll give some extends, will it work? No. Why? Because variable name is an identifier, and an identifier cannot be your keyword, so it will not work out. Okay, so let's try to do this in our Eclipse. Where is our Eclipse? Here only. Okay, so I will go here and int extends. See, is it working? It's not working. If I make it extend 1, it will work fine for us. Why? Because extends 1 is not a keyword. Okay, similar to this, if I will give something like maybe class is a keyword, so I cannot use it. If I will make a class 1, no problem. I mean, if you want to use keyword as an identifier, you have to give some suffix or prefix to that, then only you will be able to use those. Okay, so that's what we discussed here. So what is an identifier? Names given to the class, variables or methods are called identifiers. Okay. And Java has got some built-in keywords which cannot be used as an identifiers. We cannot use those identifiers. So what are those? Implement, extends, many are there. I mean, the one which we have looked into now. Okay, these are all basic concepts we have studied. Now let's try to understand this concept called inheritance. So we are going one by one. Class, object, those are very simple, which you might have already studied in your college days. Inheritance also you might have studied. So now we'll just have the basic introduction. We'll have the detailed discussion in the second chapter when we'll discuss multiple inheritance. Okay, so okay, now let's try to understand what is inheritance. So try to understand, suppose if I have got one of the class called animal. Let's talk about the example which we are talking about now. So animal, okay, and so animal will have, what are those? Tell me. All the states, number of legs, okay, then okay, then weight, and it will have some behaviors also, no? So we are just writing all those behaviors here. Okay, now suppose we are having one of the class called dog, then dog will also have same thing, right? All these things will be same here. Okay, yeah. Now suppose tomorrow I got horse. Again same. Are you able to understand what I am talking about? So because dog is having all those stuffs, horse is also having all those stuffs, and animal is also having all those stuffs. So what we do is, instead, so don't you think we are repeating the code? Whatever code I am writing in animal, I am writing the same code in dog also, I am writing the same code in horse also. So is it a good design? It is not a good design. Why? Because we are, repetition is there. So what we are doing? We are doing repeated code, right? Okay. So instead of repeating this code, I mean, what we can use? We can use one of those concept called inheritance. So what inheritance will do? It will remove the repetition. Okay. So inheritance will remove repetition. It will remove the repetition, and it will reuse the code. So very typical question you will get, which of the following concepts is related to reusability? Then what should be your answer? Inheritance. So inheritance supports reusability. So what we do is try to understand, because these codes are repeated, we will not write all those codes. Instead of this, what we do? We write something like extends animal. Here also we will not write all those codes. Instead of this, what we write extends animal. Then automatically whatever things are there in animal, it will automatically follow through and it will come to dog and horse also. Okay, this is nothing but inheritance. Okay, so typically diagram will look like this. I mean, we will have dog here and we will write horse here. Okay, and dog extends animal, so we will have continuous line from dog to animal. Here also continuous line. Okay, so now there are two lines. This is one of the line. This is for implements. We will have dot implements. But if you have full continuous line, okay, this is called extends. Okay, so dot means it is implements. Okay, and your continuous line will be called as an extends. So let's try to do the same thing in our practical. So how we will do? We will go here. We'll go here and I want to create dog. So how I'll create dog? Here I'll go here and we'll create class dog. So typically what we should do? We should write the same code here also. Here also, but it will be repetition of code. It is against your inheritance. So now if you want to use inheritance, no need to write this code. What you do? Just extends, then that's all over. Okay. Now we'll create one more class called horse. Instead of writing extends, here from here also you can choose. A super class is there, so browse is the option. Browse and just type animal. Automatically it will come here. Finish. Automatically this horse extends animal. So while creating class also you can use. Now if you want to see whether those properties are coming in dog and horse or not, what you do? You can create one dog equal to new dog and when I do this dog dot, see everything is coming. Number of leg, weight, bark, then you will see walk, all those things are coming. Something like dog dot number of legs equal to 4. So what I mean to say is, if you go inside dog, you don't have anything over there. From where it is coming? It is coming from your super class. Okay. So typically in your C++ or C++, we call this as a parent class, child class. But in Java, what we don't say parent child, we call super class and subclass. Meaning is same. It will have exactly same meaning. Okay. So this is about your inheritance. So what is inheritance? Again, this is just an introduction. We will see in depth while going through. Okay. So what is inheritance? To reuse the code defined in your super class in another class. Okay. It is kind of parent-child relationship. What is the keyword we use? Extends is the keyword which we use here. Okay. Yeah. Now if we go here in your animal, and if I do this dog dot, any names from where it is coming? Tell me. It is coming from animal class. Number of leg from where it is coming? Animal class. Weight from where it is coming? It is coming from animal class. Bark from where it is coming? It is coming from animal class. Now if I'll ask you, few other methods are there. What are those? Get class, hash code, notify, toString. Have we ever mentioned this? I mean, did we write anywhere? We did not write those methods, right? So from where those are coming? From somewhere those are coming, right? Somewhere those are written. That's why you are able to see those methods. So from where those are coming? Any idea? Any idea from where those are coming? You got what my question is? Because my question is names, number of legs, weight. Those are coming from animal because this animal is superclass of dog. Now there are some methods equals. Have we written? We did not write. Did we write get class? No. Hash code we write? No. From where it is coming? Because all class will have its superclass called object. Who is the supermost class? Object. Okay. So these all those behaviors are defined in object class. Okay. So typically if we are seeing the diagram here, what is there? Animal, dog and horse. Then we are having one of those class called object on the top. Always it would be there. So hierarchy will be there. So what is object class? Object class is nothing but supermost class. Supermost class in hierarchy. Supermost class in hierarchy. So who is the supermost class? Object. Dog, horse, then animal, on the top of the object. So all the behaviors, commonly used behaviors will be coming from object class. So that's what is mentioned over there. See, superclass of all the class is inbuilt object class. From where it is coming? It is coming from one of the package name called java.lang package, which defines the commonly used methods, something like equals, hash code, all those things. Okay, we'll continue from here and then we'll look into this interface.